Hello, wrestling peeps. This is Dr. Smitty, and welcome to the first video for Geeks of Wrestling. This is a new channel where me and other wrestling fans will come on and discuss wrestling for you guys. This one, we are talking about NXT War Games 2. This is a pretty exciting show. Obviously, it's before Survivor Series weekend, one of the big 4 pay-per-views, and unlike Survivor Series, this card's been basically done, so it's really easy to rate these predictions. So let's dive right into it. Let's probably go with the Women's Championship, which is Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane for a 2 out of 3 falls for the NXT Women's Championship. This one, to me, is pretty easy to pick, especially with Shayna Baszler teaming up with the other 2 members of the 4 horsewomen of MMA. Shayna Baszler is definitely going to win. I think it'll be 2-1. Initially, I was going to go 2-0 for Shayna Baszler. I thought that it would be a sweep for her to reinvigorate her character before she goes to the main roster and possibly team up with Ronda Rousey to take on the other 4 horsewomen. But right now, I'm saying 2-1 because I think one of the falls will be disqualification or something. So 2-1, Shayna Baszler. That's what I am betting on this one. So the next one will be, let's go Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black. This one's more interesting, especially because Johnny Gargano just turned heel. And with Aleister Black just coming back, it's they both kind of need a win. So I'm going Johnny Gargano because I think he is going to be in NXT longer than Aleister Black. I think after Aleister Black loses, he can get called up to the main roster. I don't think it's a good time for him to go up to the main roster, but I do think that will happen. So I do think Johnny Gargano is going to win, whether it's some sort of dirty way or if he's just going to try to destroy Aleister Black after the pinfall and he goes into another feud with a babyface like a Keith Lee or something like that. But yeah, I'm going Johnny Gargano for the pinfall or submission. I think pinfall, actually. So I think the War Games match will be last. So let's go Tommaso Ciampa versus the Velveteen Dream for the NXT Men's Championship. I do not think this is going to close the show. I think, again, the War Games match is going to be the match that's closing the show, or it's going to start the show. I think it'll close the show, though. This one, I have Tommaso Ciampa defeating Velveteen Dream via disqualification to prolong the feud, or even to have maybe a triple threat with Johnny Gargano later on, or a fatal 4-way to add Aleister Black into that match. But with that being said, I do think Tommaso Ciampa is going to be leaving the War Games 2 with his NXT Men's Championship. For the amount of time he's had the championship, it's around the time where they start to transition to another one. Velveteen Dream can't lose clean. He's been building momentum and he's already had enough losses. So you can prolong the feud by having a disqualification. At some point, I do think Velveteen Dream will become NXT champion because he's young enough where he doesn't need to be called up. He's clearly good enough to be called up, but I think that they don't have anything for him for the main roster right now. So don't rush a person that can be a true star in WWE. So my prediction is Tommaso Ciampa retains via disqualification from some means. Now the NXT War Games match, which features the War Raiders, Ricochet, and Pete Dunne versus the full lineup of the Undisputed Era. I think this one's actually probably the easiest to predict who's going to win. It's definitely going to be the War Raiders, Ricochet, and Pete Dunne. I do think that I think soon the Undisputed Era are going to drop the tag team titles and move up to the main roster. I think that they are the most ready right now to go to the main roster and not get lost in the shuffle, unlike Sanity or, you know, the Revival. There's many groups that have come up to the main roster and they weren't ready. But I think there's a huge difference between those groups in the past and the Undisputed Era. One is Adam Cole. He's just spitting fire right now on everything he touches. He's just that damn good. He is definitely like a Shawn Michaels 2.0, and with the backing of Shawn Michaels and a Triple H, I think that it will be hard for them to not succeed, especially with a stable, which they kind of need, in the main roster. It will be almost impossible for them not to succeed. That being said, also, I think the War Raiders need the win. I think they are going to go on a long reign as NXT Tag Team Champions. They need a dominant tag team in NXT. They consistently have them, but I don't think they're ready to come to the main roster. I think they have a lot to prove. They have a lot more trying to connect with the audience and learn the WWE way more than anybody that can come up anytime soon. So I think the War Raiders will eventually win the NXT Tag Team Championships and do good at that. Also, Ricochet, he's just on fire right now as well. There's no big rush to move him up because what are you going to do with Ricochet? Are you going to put him on the main roster like a Finn Balor or like a Rey Mysterio? Or are you going to have him go to 205, which would be a horrible mistake? And Pete Dunne is kind of in a limbo. He clearly is great, but like, what are you doing with him? So that's kind of a sticking point. I don't know what they're going to do with Pete Dunne. But those are my predictions for NXT Takeover 2 War Machine, or War Games. Let me know what you guys think. Comment below. Make sure you subscribe for more wrestling vlog content. Will be coming a lot in the next uploads. There'll be Raw weekly recaps. There'll be SmackDown recaps, all that good stuff. So let me know. Comment below. Subscribe for more wrestling content. And make sure you guys get your wrestling on. Peace.